Dear students, I am Mahesh Javalkar from Marathamandal Polytechnic, who had posted the 3 videos on semiconductor MCQs. Now, today I am posting the 4th video on semiconductor MCQs, which can help you to attempt your DCET questions. So, as last time we had done up till BJT, and today I am supposed to take FET and MOS FETs. So, let's start with the questions. The first question, that is 51, is again based on BJT only. The first question is the relation between current gain beta and current gain alpha. So if you remember, current gain beta is a common emitter current gain and current gain alpha is a common base current gain. Okay, so these both are having a relationship between them, which you can derive, and after derivation at the end you get beta is equal to alpha upon 1 minus alpha. That is what you can see after derivation, and that our relationship we have proved in theory. Okay, then we'll go to second question, that is 52. The value of beta for a transistor is generally dash. Okay, now here beta is a current gain or current amplification factor in common emitter configuration. That means it is output current upon input current. So here the output current will be collector current and input current will be base current. And obviously base current will be very small and collector current will be very high. That means this ratio has to be more than 1. It will be high, and practically it is in the range of 20 to 500. So the value of beta for a transistor is generally between 20 to 500. Okay, so 20 and 500 is the range in which you can have your value of current amplification factor beta in common emitter configuration. Okay, so next we'll go to question number 53. The most commonly used transistor arrangement is dash arrangement. Now out of these 4 options, common emitter, common base, common collector, which is the most commonly used arrangement? Now if you compare these 3, you can see that common emitter is having a nice voltage gain, a high voltage gain and high current gain. Okay, and also its input resistance and output resistance are moderate. That is, practically it is possible to have those. Okay, so the most commonly used transistor arrangement is common emitter, and that is the arrangement which is used for your amplifier or oscillator and all those type of important applications of transistor. So here the answer is the most commonly used transistor arrangement is common emitter arrangement, which is used in many important applications of a BJT. Then we'll go to the next question, question number 54. In a transistor, signal is transferred from a dash to dash, from a dash circuit. Okay, that means in the options he has given are resistance values, high to low, low to high, high to high, or low to low. Okay, now in a BJT we always see that the emitter base junction is forward biased, that is the first junction. Forward bias means low resistance, and the base collector junction is reverse bias. Reverse bias means high resistance. That means whenever a signal is applied from the emitter, and if you're taking the output at the collector, that means the signal has to pass through a low resistance to high resistance. Okay, that means transistor will transfer a signal from low resistance to high resistance. So in this option, option B will be the correct option, where it says that low resistance to high resistance. That is, low resistance is of the forward bias emitter base junction and high resistance is of the reverse bias base collector junction. Okay, then we'll go to the next question, question number 55. The arrow in the symbol of a transistor indicates the direction of. Okay, the actual answer for this, the arrow which is there in NPN or PNP symbol, it indicates conventional current. Okay, now conventional current can also be called as positive current. Now in these options we don't see any positive current or a conventional current, but one thing is there, that is option C is there, where it is telling whole current in the emitter. Now whole, we assume it as positively charged carriers, and therefore whole current can become a positive current, and positive current is your conventional current. That means here the option is C. That means the arrow in the symbol of a transistor indicates the direction of whole current in the emitter. Okay, Next, we'll go to the question number 56. A heat sink is generally used with a transistor. Okay. Now, heat sink, the word itself says that it is going to absorb heat. It is going to absorb it. Now, once you are absorbing heat from a device, okay, when it is attached to any device, when you are absorbing heat, that means you are decreasing the temperature of the device. So, there will be no temperature rise in the device. That means a heat sink is generally used with a transistor too. Now here in these four options, option D, that is prevent excessive temperature rise. Now if temperature is going to rise, that temperature heat can be absorbed by this heat sink and you can keep the transistor cool so that it will not get damaged. So here the option will be option D, that is a heat sink is generally used with a transistor to prevent excessive temperature rise. Okay. Then we'll go to the next question, question number 57. A JFET has three terminals, namely what? Okay, a JFET means junction field effect transistor. Now, whenever we speak about FET, the three terminals are source from where the majority charge carriers are generated, and then it has to go to the drain, and the control element is gate. That means source, gate, and drain are the three terminals of JFET. Now, in this option, option C will be the correct answer. Source, gate, and drain. Okay, source will be the source of the majority carriers from where your drain current will start flowing. It will go to the drain. Okay, now this current you can control by giving a voltage at the gate. Okay, so gate will be your control terminal. So source, gate, and drain are the three terminals of JFET. Then we'll go to question number 58. A JFET is also called dash transistor. Now in the options we see unipolar, bipolar, unijunction and none of the above. Now here we know that in JFET it is either N channel or P channel. If it is N channel, then only electrons will make the flow of current. If it is P channel, then only holes will make the flow of current. Either electrons or holes, not both. That means it is one polarity. That means it is unipolar. So here the answer has to be a JFET is also called unipolar transistor. So answer A is correct, unipolar. Okay. Whereas if you speak about BJT, it is bipolar. Bipolar means the current conduction is because of both electrons and holes. But whereas in JFET, it is either electron or holes, because you will be having either N bar or P bar, N channel or P channel. So it is only one type of majority charge carrier only will make the current flow. That is, it is unipolar. Okay, so JFET is also called as unipolar transistor. Then we'll go to the next question, question number 59. A JFET is dash driven device. Okay, now when you see a JFET circuit, that is junction field effect transistor circuit, the input is given between gate and source. Okay, so gate and source voltage, gate and source voltage is going to control the output current, that is drain current. Okay, that means it is a voltage driven device. The input voltage is going to control the output current. Okay, so a JFET is a voltage driven device. So here the option should be B, voltage driven device. Clear? Then we'll go to the next question, question number 60. The gate of a JFET is dash biased. Okay, now JFET is mainly junction field effect transistor, and junction, depletion layer of the junction plays an important role to increase or decrease the channel width. And to increase or decrease the channel width, to increase or decrease the depletion layer, we should always use reverse bias. So the gate of a JFET is reverse bias. So here the option will be A. The gate of a JFET is reverse bias, because only if you do reverse bias, the depletion layer of PN junctions will increase, and if the depletion layer increases, the channel width can decrease, and if the channel width decreases, the drain current can decrease. That means by increasing the depletion layer, you are decreasing the width and you are decreasing the drain current. That means your drain current you can control by reverse bias. If a reverse bias is of less voltage, drain current is more. If a reverse bias is of more voltage, drain current is less. In that way, you can control the output current by input voltage. So it is reverse bias. The gate of a JFET is reverse biased. Then we'll go to question number 61. The input impedance of a JFET is dash that of an ordinary transistor. That means compared to BJT, the JFET input impedance should be high or low. Okay, so obviously, whenever we speak about JFET input, it is the input given at the gate with respect to source. And we have just now spoke that that input will be reverse bias. That means reverse bias means resistance will be high. So obviously the input impedance of a JFET is more than that of ordinary transistor. So here the option should be option C, more than. Okay, the input impedance of a JFET is more than that of ordinary transistor, right? Then we'll go to question number 62. In a p channel JFET, the charge carriers are, okay, when you speak about p channel JFET, obviously in p channel the holes will be the majority charge carriers which are going to make the current flow. Okay, that means in a p channel JFET the charge carriers are holes. So answer should be option B, holes. In a p channel JFET the charge carriers are holes. Similarly, if they ask you in a n channel JFET, the charge carriers will be electrons, whereas in a p channel JFET the charge carriers will be holes. Clear? Then we'll go to next question, question number 63. If the reverse bias on the gate of a JFET is increased, the width of the conducting channel. Okay, now just now I had told you, if the reverse bias on the gate, that is the voltage applied between gate and source, if that reverse bias is increased, then the depletion layer will increase. And once the depletion layer increases on both sides, the channel width will decrease and less current will flow. That means for this question, if the reverse bias on the gate of a JFET is increased, then the width of the conducting channel, okay, the width of the conducting channel has to decrease. That means option A will be your correct answer. If the reverse bias on the gate of a JFET is increased, then the width of the conducting channel is decreased because the PN junction's depletion layer will increase. And once they increase, the flow of the majority charge carriers from source to drain will have a very less path to go. So that has to decrease. The channel will decrease. Then we'll go to question number 64. A MOSFET can be operated with, okay, a MOSFET means metal oxide semiconductor FET, or it is also called as insulated gate FET. Okay, so it is operated with what type of voltage at the gate, whether negative type of voltage or positive type of voltage or positive type, negative type, or none of the above. Now in MOSFET we can see two modes of operation. One is depletion mode of operation and one is enhancement mode of operation. In depletion mode of operation, you can use one type of polarity, and in enhancement mode, you can use another type of polarity for the gate voltage. That means for a MOSFET, especially depletion type of MOSFET, we can use both positive and negative gate voltages. That means option C, positive as well as negative gate voltage, is the correct answer for this. So a MOSFET, that is mainly a depletion type MOSFET, can be operated with positive as well as negative gate voltage. Okay. Then we'll go to question number 65. A MOSFET is sometimes called dash JFET. As I've told you, the gate terminal which is connected to the MOSFET, between the gate terminal's metal and the semiconductor on the other side, there is a oxide layer in between which is acting as an insulator. That's why it is called as insulated gate. Okay, so a MOSFET is sometimes called as insulated gate FET, insulated gate JFET, anything you can call it. So it is insulated gate because of the oxide layer. The gate is insulated from the semiconductor, and that gives you a capacitive effect, and that capacitive effect will give you the description of how a MOSFET works. Okay, then we'll go to question number 66. A MOSFET uses the electric field of a dash to control the channel current. Okay, now as I've told you, in MOSFET, whenever you look at the gate terminal connection, the gate terminal is connected to a metal. After the metal, there is an oxide layer, and after the oxide layer, there is a semiconductor, okay, where you have the channel. Now, between metal and semiconductor, there is an oxide layer. That means this is acting as a parallel plate capacitor. Okay, that means a MOSFET uses the electric field of a parallel plate capacitor to control the channel current. So here the option will be option A, that is capacitor. Clear? Then we'll go to next question, question number 67. A N-channel depletion type MOSFET, DMOSFET means depletion type MOSFET with a positive VGS, is operating in which mode? Depletion mode, enhancement mode, cutoff mode, or saturation mode. Okay. Now we are speaking about N channel. N channel means the semiconductor is having flow of electrons. Okay. Now on the other side to the gate, if you give a positive voltage, that means the side in the semiconductor, that is the opposite side of the capacitor, will be negatively charged. And if it is negatively charged, it is supporting the electrons of N channel. That means it is enhancing the electrons. The drain current has to increase. Okay, if a positive VGS is given to N channel DMOSFET, then the drain current has to increase and it will be working in enhancement mode. So here the answer will be B, the enhancement mode. N channel DMOSFET with a positive VGS is operating in the enhancement mode, right? Then we'll go to question number 68. A certain P channel EMOSFET means enhancement MOSFET, has VGS threshold is equal to minus 2 volt. If VGS, that is voltage between gate and source, is equal to 0, then what is the drain current? How much is the drain current? Okay. Now the basic definition of enhancement type MOSFET says that it is normally off MOSFET. Normally off means initially when VGS is equal to 0, drain current is also 0. But as VGS increases, after some specific VGS, the drain current increases, that is enhances. So initially when VGS is equal to 0, the drain current has to be 0. That means here the option is option A, 0 milliampere. Okay. Then we'll go to the next question, question number 69. When an input signal reduces the channel size, the process is called. Okay. Now in MOSFET, when an input signal reduces the channel size, means it is reducing the drain current. Okay. The process is called, when you are reducing some drain current, that means whatever majority charge carriers you are having, you are depleting it. You are reducing it means you are depleting it. Okay. So this process should be called as depletion. So here the answer will be option D, depletion. When an input signal reduces the channel size, the process is called depletion because the drain current will decrease. That means the majority charge carriers are reduced. Reduction of majority charge carrier means it is depleted. It is depleted of majority charge carriers. Clear? Then we'll go to the next question, question number 70. Which component is considered to be an off device? So as I've told you earlier also, normally off device is the enhancement MOSFET and normally on device is the depletion type of MOSFET. So here the option has to be EMOSFET. So normally off means what? Whenever the input voltage between gate and source is 0, there will be no drain current flowing. There is no channel only built for this MOSFET between drain and source. Source and drain will not have any linking. So there will be no current flowing when VGS is equal to 0. That means normally it is off. After you increase the VGS, the voltage between gate and source, to some value, then the channel will be built between source and drain, and then the drain current will start flowing. That means out of DMOSFET and EMOSFET, EMOSFET is called a normally off device and DMOSFET is called a normally on device because DMOSFET will work when VGS is equal to 0, whereas EMOSFET will not work when VGS is equal to 0. That means here the answer should be option D, EMOSFET. So it is, which component is considered to be an off device? The component which is considered to be off device is EMOSFET. Okay. So these were some questions of BJT, JFET and MOSFET which I have done today. And similar type of questions can also come, or different questions also can come. But your basics, as I've told you in my last video also, basics of your subject should be strong. And this basics of semiconductors is the base of electronics and communication department. That means you cannot tend to forget these concepts. These concepts are very useful, and from this only you are going to build up many bigger circuits, many bigger digital systems, many bigger analog systems and all. So these basics you have to brush up, and once you know you are good at the fundamentals, then approaching any multiple choice question will become a very easy task. Okay, so with this I will end my this video here. In my next video I will continue with DIAC, TRIAC, UJT and SCR. Okay, thank you students for watching this video. If you're having any feedback or anything to tell me so that I can improve on this, you can please feel free to talk to me. Thank you very much.